There's a threat in the world today. A threat to our way of living, a threat to our society, and maybe even a threat to our very existence. And what is this threat?
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world.
He is the one.
I am.
I am the ass.
He is.
And we are Black and White Sports.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
How am I not found the best fighter in the world? You tell me. Because you're retired?
I mean, I want to see your face when you're asking this question and the way you're going to ask it. Look a man in the eye before you try to kill him or make up something.
He went through my soul.
And I'm not surprised.
What is going on? Wonderful world of sports. He is the one. I am the ass. Together we are Black and White Sports, powered by First Financial Bank and John Wayne Buzzard over there at 3535 East 96th Street in Indianapolis. Get a hold of him, 317-417-8582. Or email him, john.buzzard@bankandfirst.com. And our Rockstar Realtor himself, Mr. Shawn Nugent. That's right, 317-503-8322. Get your home bought or sold today. Shawn Nugent at talktotucker.com. Damon, it is time for Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
See, you almost look like a Ron. I don't. I can't pull it off. For some reason, just not me.
No, I was trying to mix in a little Bill Cosby and LeBron there.
Like the pudding. You make it the pudding. That's bad.
Hey, what's going on,
We're just
bro?
talking about bad impersonations right before the show. That right there is one of them.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good at bad impersonations. Hey, but funny thing real quick before we jump into everything, Felicious, I just got a tweet on my watch here from Twitter, and it's talking about the CMAs. And you just sent me an email.
From the guy we're getting ready to talk to.
Right, which has absolutely nothing. It has nothing to do about the CMAs, but it does. But it's freaking great. So, hey, thanks for everybody for joining in. Again, it's Taco Tuesday. You know, this is the day we just talk. You know, we'll find people that have interesting things that have to do with sports throughout our internet world, so to speak. So this is what we do. We find people, we talk about stuff that's interesting, and that's also going to be tied into your everyday sports life. So if you are a gambler, a bettor, a person who likes to play them odds, the next half hour, probably want to pay attention.
Oh, yeah. I am. I'm going to pay more attention to him than I ever have Damon. Let me tell you that right there.
I'll believe it. I'll believe it.
The Italian blood is spewing in me, brother.
All right. So I think we got it. We hit all of our things we need to hit before we get into it.
Well, you can't forget our brothers over at Checkers and Wreckers. Sunday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. They like to drive fast, shift hard, and keep that rubber on the road or slinging that dirt. That's right.
They ought to pay attention too.
They should. You might have to talk about that later. Well, all right, Damon, you ready?
I is.
Well, without further ado, boys and girls, mom and dad, children of all ages, we, BWSports 1 and Black and White Sports, proudly bring to you Mr. Raphael Esparza from Doc Sports Service and head oddsmaker at mybookie.com. Raphael, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Black and White Sports.
Well, it should be black, white, and brown sports for today, since
today,
I'm bringing in some brown in you. I'm like UPS. What can brown do for you?
Oh man, I love them already. What's the odds on that?
We're the rainbows without the rainbows.
That's good point. I should put odds on the Washington Redskins, would it be the Washington Rainbows? I should have put the Rainbows on that list. I didn't put the Rainbows.
Man. Oh man! Well, before
been them in 4 years too. So
before we get really into the Washington part, because I'm sure that's going to be a talk of discussion really quick here soon. Give the fans a little bit about who you are, where you came from, what you did, what you do now.
I worked in Vegas sports books for over 15 Super Bowls. We don't count years. We call them Super Bowls because that's what the years will go through. So I worked 15 Super Bowls for MGM Mirage. I worked for pretty much every MGM-owned property on the Strip, from Bellagio, MGM, New York, Mandalay Bay, Mirage. I opened up City Center Aria. That was the last casino I worked at before I jetted out. I said, I'm done with corporate life. I'm doing my own thing. So now I did that for 15 years, and now I've been working for Doc Sports and my bookie, head Oddsmaker over there. I do all their entertainment prop bets, political, entertainment, wrestling, anything that you see water cooler talk or you can't believe that someone put odds up, that's myself. I will put up anything and everything when it comes to betting, and not just for betting purposes. I'm more of just entertainment. I could care less if I don't accept $1 on some of these outrageous prop bets, but if I have someone talking or someone going to that site to look at it and then maybe place a football bet or an NBA bet or majors, then I did my job. If someone's going to go there and look at my wrestling odds for this week's wrestling match at WWE pay-per-view, and they're like, I can't believe the guy has wrestling odds up. Oh, I forgot that the NBA starts in 2 weeks. What's the Pelicans Utah Jazz number? So if I got them there, then I did my job.
There you go. I love it, man. Man, the gambling blood's just starting to boil in me. Like I said, I got that Italian, Sicilian, Catholic blood.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Hey, but I got a quick question. We did a little spot a couple shows back where we were talking about the Russian Federation of Table Tennis.
He probably knows all about it.
I would say March and April. When NASCAR and golf first came back, their first weekend, Russian table tennis had more tickets written and dollar amounts written than both NASCAR and golf put together.
Mind blowing.
He thought I was nuts when I found this story. Like it's like underground table tennis in Ukraine and Russia. I'm like, dude, they're betting on it in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I mean it's crazy. And I had to watch probably a good 2 days of old YouTube table tennis matches just to try to get familiar and how they play the game and how they do their sets and stuff like that. So it was a lot of. I felt like I was watching a Russian version of Forrest Gump when he was playing table tennis. So that's what I felt like I had to watch for a good 48 hours.
That is great.
That is.
I have nothing other than that. I just thought it was a weird ass story, and he didn't believe me that was betting on it. So here you go.
Well, okay, so we're staying on the kind of wild and crazy. What is the wildest thing that you've ever put odds on?
I would say last month I put up some shark betting odds for Shark Week. They tagged 9 great whites for the past 5 years, and you can bet on which ones would they be pinged at, what island, what coast would they be pinged at. So people were betting the days that you can get pinged at. That one was a lot of research to do. That's probably my favorite part of my job. People just think I just put up a number just to put a number. I put a lot of research because, again, we're taking money. It's not like I'm putting up stuff and we're not taking any odds. I need to make sure some shark expert's not going to bankroll his mortgage.
The bank over there.
On some shark betting. So that was interesting. The AVN Porn Awards, I put up some odds on that. Last year, Nicki Minaj performed, so I did a whole bunch of betting prop bets on will she have a wardrobe malfunction during the AVN Porn Awards. Who would the first presenter thank first, mom, dad? It's just anytime someone puts a request, I will put odds up on something.
You know what? I want to say, if I'm going to put odds up on the Port Awards, I'm going to have to go.
I've been there. I've been to the first one at the old Monte Carlo in Las Vegas. I was working next door at New York Casino as the race and sportsbook director, and I did all their ESPN interviews there because that was when the ESPN Zone. Remember, I just aged myself. Remember the ESPN Zone restaurants? They had a hub one there where we had a TV studio back there, so I did interviews for SportsCenter and stuff like that. Where I got invited to go to the AVN Awards, and it was probably one of the most interesting things I've ever witnessed in my life. And I'm just talking about the red carpet. I'm not even talking about the show itself.
Oh, I can only imagine.
To be a fly on the wall in that room.
Oh, man. So what got you into bookmaking, odds making?
Legally? Do you want the legal question or the illegal answer? There's
however way you would like to go.
I'm sure there's a statute of limitations. So
I got into sports gambling in the numbers when I was in high school. I couldn't play high school sports anymore for medical reasons, and I always wanted to stay involved in the game. I didn't want to go into coaching because when you're that close and you can't play. That's just gut breaking. Watching your brothers and your friends hooping it up, and you're sitting on a bench coaching them. That wasn't for me. But I always wanted to be around, so I always was fascinated by numbers and how the spread works. And I had a friend of mine that was a bookie, and I would hang out at his house. I would hang out at his house when I was in high school because I was sick. I couldn't do a lot of stuff, so I learned it from him. And when he hung it up, I took some of his old players and did that kind of work. And then I moved to Vegas, and I was tired of working the old corporate life, and they hired me at Caesar's Palace on the spot. And I worked for Caesar's Palace for 2 years, and then I went over to MGM, like I said, for 13, 14 Super Bowls. And I love the fascination of the research of the putting betting odds up and stuff like that. I think that's probably the best part. Like I said, I could care less if I don't take a nickel or a dime on any of these bets. If I can do some cool research and put out a number that people are talking about, I'm happy.
So, with being a numbers guy, a guy who sets the numbers, you seem like a pretty upstanding guy from the things that I've looked into. But I'm sure, especially being in Vegas, I'm sure that the underbelly side of it tries to peek his head. How do you deflect that type of energy?
Well, first of all, you can't have a fan in any sports. I mean, when I got into this industry, I don't have a favorite NFL team. I don't have a favorite NBA and stuff like that. There's only one favorite team I have, and it's the Chicago Cubs because it was just more. Born and raised in Chicagoland area. When I was a kid, and when I couldn't play a lot of sports because of health reasons, I always had WGN and I always had the Cubs on TV. So it's more of a memory more than so they're always going to. But it's hard to. I tell people in my industry, it took the fun out of sports because I watch any game and I'm always thinking about the number. I'm not enjoying I can't sit and watch the Super Bowl and have beers and pig out because I'm always thinking of, okay, what's the halftime number going to be? Okay, if they're playing this game, what's going to be next week's game? Oh, that guy just got hurt. Okay, what am I going to do for that? I'm always thinking ahead, so I really just can't sit back and enjoy it like other people. So I think that's probably the underbelly. And there's days you're going to lose. I mean, I think that's probably the reason why I got out of corporate sports book, because there be days where the books do lose, and I was just tired of the presidents calling me and say, hey, why'd you lose 6 figures on this game? Oh, I'm sorry, we lost 1 day out of 2 months. The stuff's gonna happen. Or I had to take $1 million bet from some actor, which I didn't want to take because we were already heavy on one side, and then we lose, and then I get yelled at for taking that $1 million bet when you told me I had to take it. So there's some good things about it, bad things about it, but it takes the joy. I think that's probably my number one thing. It takes the joy out of watching sports.
So that was on the legal side, right?
Yeah.
So just to be clear, none of the casino people came down and took you to the back and broke any fingers.
But when I first got into the industry at Caesar's Palace, there was still kind of that stuff going around. Not more, but there's still a lot of mob guys in Vegas. Even when I've been pulled to the side by many people saying, "Hey, why did you guys put this number up? We're getting crushed on our number." Blah 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 blah. I still get some unfortunately emails from, "How did they get my email address?" kind of question.
They know people.
All right, so let's talk a little bit of current. So they got before we jump into that, the baseball. That's what I want to know. Where were the ridiculous odds or the ridiculous numbers that you were hearing coming through where people was betting on if they were going to play baseball or not? I'm sure that things were coming out too.
Yeah, well, I mean, people were still saying I just shut that prop out maybe about a week ago, and they were still betting no. I mean, no, we're not going to see it. We're not going to see it. I mean, we're going to see baseball. Are we going to see our favorite players out there? I don't think so. I still think we're going to see him. I think the biggest name that's probably going to drop is Mike Trout. Not because he's scared of COVID or whatever. He's getting ready to be a dad, his first-time dad. I don't blame an athlete who doesn't want to risk the times we're in just to be a witness of his first child being born. So I think he'll be the first one. People will bet to know. We got crushed. We put a prop up. Will the World Series happen? Because I think the baseball will go through a start. But will World Series happen? Now we're talking about late October, where if the flu season really kicks in or we can't figure out how to maintain it, they might have to call it. So I think World Series, still has a huge question mark. First pitch, 13 days or 10 days? We'll see the first pitch.
So, David, you had something else. Go ahead.
No, I was wondering if they was betting on COVID.
Since day one, I took 1 day off since COVID, and that was the day everything got canceled, and I was pretty much like shell-shocked. I felt like 9/11. I was working at New York Casino during 9/11 when everything got shut off, and it felt like, I don't want to compare both of them because they're both different tragedies, but that's how I felt the day everything got shut down because of COVID. But the next day, I was researching betting odds, or will we see a baseball season, or will Donald Trump get COVID? I had all those prop bets up, and I still will put up some crazy COVID prop bets from now and then.
I want to know what the line was of when Trump was going to wear a mask.
We did have one, we probably had one in April, somewhere around there. Will he ever do a press conference with the mask on? And they all bet the no, just because. They all bet the yes that he would test positive. So will he test positive for COVID? So we're not, even if he did test positive, there was no way they're gonna tell the public that he's positive.
Oh no! Oh hell! No. I think that's why he's wearing the mask now. Because
there's an alien ship will land on the front yard of the White House before he says I had COVID.
I agree.
I'll take those. I'll have to jump on those.
Me too.
All right, so now we're getting into the current things that we know are projected to start. I don't know how the country is on the MLS. I know they're playing right now. I know baseball's going to start up, but the big sport right now that everybody's really paying attention to is the NBA. Now we've had one player already come out, Russell Westbrook, a major player already come out with the bubble in place, or the campus, whatever they want to call it, down at ESPN or Disney. Russell Westbrook is now positive. He's still asymptomatic, but I'm sure that changes the odds every time. And like the players in the bubble, just like injury, I'm sure the COVID is going to affect the odds.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I tell people who are betting, let's say, odds to win a Super Bowl or AFC Championship, or you have to be really cautious on putting your money in gambling in 2020. Because let's face it, 2020 sucks. We have no idea what's going to happen. You may put $1,000 on the Lakers going to win a championship, and LeBron James may get COVID, and he's out for the whole thing. And people are going, I want my money back. Sorry, that doesn't work like that. You placed a bet. We got you. Have a nice day. So you have to be very cautious. But, yeah, it's going to be different. One thing, you mentioned MLS. I bet you every league, MLB, NBA, NHL, is watching MLS on what they do. because we've seen them send home 2 teams and they're still playing their tournament. So I would not be shocked if, let's say, the NBA, and I'll use Portland Trailblazers as an example. Let's say Portland has 4 or 5 guys that come down with COVID. I would not be shocked if the NBA says, hey, you know what? Too bad, too sad. Portland, you're going home. See you in 2021. We're going to continue to play this playoff, this tournament, or whatever. Same thing with the NHL. I think a lot of these leagues are probably learning what the MLS is doing, that you can still play. Some teams are going to be crying and saying, why us, why us? But I'm sorry, that's the way 2020 is.
Yeah. And then,
it wasn't like Portland was going to win the championship anyway. But
I use them for an example.
What's the odds right now for how many teams will get sent home from the NBA?
I'm going to put up 1.5. I'm going to put that up probably over the weekend. Over under. Will a team be sent home before the NBA championship? So I'll probably put up either a half, just because I think people would probably bet the over, or 1.5. I'm just waiting to see what the publics will probably look at. In baseball, I think it'll probably be probably be 1.5 in the under, because I think baseball, since there's no minor league baseball playing, you can have 4 or 5 guys and they just call up guys. Hey,
yep.
Can you be tested, and call up guys? So I think baseball is going to be harder. Same thing with the NHL. College football, we're not going to see college football. If you think we're going to see college football this year, then I got some snow to sell you in Alaska, because there's no way these college kids are going to be I think we'll see maybe spring ball, but I don't think we're going to see college football in the fall.
Unfortunately,
yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, we're kind of here in Indiana, we're kind of our kids are getting ready to start the shuffle back to school. And that's a big concern right now when it comes not so much just to going back to school, but the sports realm. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. We got through last high school season where the girls got to do their state title for basketball, but the boys and everybody else were kind of short. And I kind of feel we're going to be the same way. I don't think we're going to get a high school football season this year. And I think it's going to push in. I think it's going to push into fall, into winter sports too, which is going to affect my daughter. A couple other parents that I know, but I just don't think it. And speaking of that level of play, I know it's frowned upon, but I'm sure they're betting on these AAU tournaments too.
Oh, yeah. We take action on AAU tournaments. Sad to say. But, I mean, we take action on high school Texas football. And if you don't know about Texas high school football, then you're not a sports fan, because I'm sorry, you may be watching in Louisiana or Indianapolis, oh, my high school won their 6A champion. Yeah, go in Texas and see what your high school football team does. It probably won't last that well. Here up in Vegas, we have a high school named Bishop Gorman that doesn't even play in the state of Nevada, their football. All they do is just travel around the states and play other schools. That's where Randall Cunningham's kid went. That's where Snoop Dogg's kid went, Bishop Gordon. They don't even play football in Nevada. They just travel around and play high school football against other teams, which you're going to see that. But the sad part about COVID is it's going to affect scholarships. It's going to affect these college kids, because these people who are in college who maybe they're on borderline, or maybe I'll go pro, or I'm going to stay another year because I couldn't play. I feel bad for these juniors and seniors in high school that maybe we're going to get a scholarship or go play somewhere else, because they might be on their way out, because these college kids are going to stay longer to play their sports, and it's going to affect these high school kids. So I feel really, really, really bad for these high school kids.
Now, did they give everybody a red shirt, like a medical red shirt for this year?
Not yet. I know the Ivy League did.
Okay. I knew I heard somewhere where somebody did. I wasn't too sure on that, but I believe that they should get one. If they want to come back, give them another year of eligibility, because it's just like being injured. If you miss so much part of the season, you can be redshirted medically and still have another year of eligibility. There should be no difference. And
the colleges are not paying. I mean, I hate to say this, but the colleges are not, they're spending the same amount of money of giving that scholarship than paying for another kid to come in and giving them a scholarship. So they're, hate to say it, actually saving money on redshirting them, because they're already paying for their school, than for a kid that's coming into their school to pay their scholarships.
Yep. And I'm kind of iffy. Well, I guess I could say I'm on both sides of that. You know what I mean? Because I work with some of these young ladies, and I see that they're in their junior year, especially for AAU. This is the time of year where they're securing that final look. You know what I mean? If you're a junior and you haven't already got your offers, it's going to be real sketchy that senior year. You know what I mean? Most of the time that senior year, you're just trying to, paying out those last 4 or 5, visits, trying to figure it out. And if you got to wait, and then you got the junior college kids that are eligible for transferring up. So they're already competing with high school. Then they got to compete with kids staying, more junior college transfers, and high school coming in. And then now what I just hear that the National Junior College Association took away all fall sports. Like they're not playing any fall sports until the spring.
Yeah, a lot of high schools said if you're not in phase 4 in high school, then you can't play fall sports.
Yeah, I think we're in phase 4.5.
Yeah,
because we're letting them all work out.
Wow,
Yeah, so,
I live in Vegas and New Orleans, and we're like -1 and -0.
Yeah, but that's one thing I like about Indiana. We've kind of slowly moved along. We progress. If the stage meant that we needed to stay in it just a little bit longer, we had. You haven't heard too much complaining. And I know here we've had the last week, we put on 3 major AAU tournaments in 1 week. And then we have now we got them all transferring.
Oh, he knows. He got all the bets coming in on it.
We got them all transferring, like one from Atlanta, one from Cincinnati, all transferring here to Indy. So I'm pretty sure that we might get a start, but I think as soon as the cold hits and the flu season hits, and they're not going to be able to determine the difference between the flu and the COVID, even though they're both coronaviruses, it's going to be hard to tell the difference between, and they're just going to end up saying no dice.
Yeah, it's a shame because we'll have announcement of a cure during probably sometime November, December, especially during the election.
Oh,
the cure will be announced after the election.
Yeah, right after November.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying November 5th?
Right.
I
give it a week.
My gut is telling me yes. I'm hoping my gut is wrong.
I don't know, but I'm not taking it. If it took you. Not even a full year, and you already got a cure? How you get a cure for a specific coronavirus, but you can't cure the flu?
Yeah,
okay, but I know I'm not taking it because you took too short a time to work on it. You take 20 years to bring out one heart medication pill, but this you're gonna bring out in 6 months? Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Theraflu and the emergency.
Put some Vicks. Just rub some Vicks on it.
Right. All right, so we got to ask you. You got to give us at least 2 really good picks going into this week through this weekend on whatever you want to throw out. You got to give us 2 picks exclusively right here.
All right, I'll go on Wednesday's UFC because we're back at UFC Fight Island 2. I have no idea why they're calling it Fight Island because during UFC 251, they didn't show not one picture of Island. They didn't show not one picture of the beach. So why are you calling it Fight Island? So I'll go back on that one. Calvin Kattar, the main event, he's -$3 on that one. He should have no problem versus Dan Inge. I would say probably Calvin Kattar. That fight will go the distance, probably go the – I'm sorry, not the distance. It'll probably go over the 2.5 rounds. So bet the over prop 2.5 rounds. So that should be an easy winner. And then my boy is boxing tomorrow. I think on Thursday. I'm boxing at Top Rank. So there's a guy, Jamal Herring, fighting. He's -1,000, but if you can get him by decision, -$4, I think that should be a good bet. He's a lightweight title belt, so in boxing. And then Delmar, horse racing, big horse racing stakes this weekend coming up. So jump over to Delmar if you like horse racing. So I think those are pretty good, easy bets. But I'll give you an MLS one. There's a game that goes Vancouver versus San Jose on Wednesday. Give me San Jose. Give me the Quakes.
Let me write all this down. Hold on, slow down, repeat.
Hey,
awesome.
since you mentioned UFC and boxing, I'm a boxing dude, and I've kind of been back on Top Rank. I'm loving it. I'm loving it to Top Rank 3 nights a week. some good boxing. You've seen some decent names, and you're seeing some young guys. The thing that I noticed, I'm glad you're on here because I kept hearing them saying this. You have people putting down ridiculous amounts of bets on fighters, and they're not even getting back what they put in. Why in the hell are people doing that?
Because it's, we'll put an example. My boy Jamal Herring, who's fighting Jonathan Cueto, Herring's minus 1,000. So if you wanted to win 1,000, you would have to put up 10,000 just to win 1,000. 1,000 minus 1,000. If you put $1,000, you're going to get back $100. He's a huge favorite. He's going to be the huge favorite. So just like in UFC with Usman versus Masvidal, Usman was minus $3 when he got into the ring. So if you wanted to win $100, you have to put up $300 just to win 100. So in contact sports, it's just like betting the money line in football. So if you think when the Patriots are playing the Oakland Raiders when Tom Brady was on there, they would be minus 14-point favorites. The money line was like minus 2,000. So people would always do the money line. So that's what combat sports I'm going. But I'll give a plug out for boxing. The first live event with fans in the stands in boxing will be December 13th, the trilogy, Wilder vs. Fury in Raider Stadium. That will be the first time Raider Stadium will have fans in it, probably.
Ooh.
Hey, man, that thing, I was in Vegas in November. First time I've ever been to Vegas. That stadium is absolutely amazing, and it wasn't even finished. It still had holes in it. That thing is huge, and it is awesome.
So that's where Tyson... That's where Wilder and Fury will fight in December. That'd be the first, because right now the Raiders are telling them we're not going to have fans in the stands until after the holidays. So I would guess that's probably when they're going to open up probably fans in Vegas, unless they continue to go backwards, because they're going backwards when it comes to COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to give a shout out to boxing, man. Top Rank has been killing it, man. We've seen from Shakur Stevens. I saw a nice heavyweight a couple weeks ago. Man, I don't bet a whole bunch, and if I do, I like to play the parlay cards. That seem to be pretty easy.
Ooh, that's how my wife gets shiny things, because you guys bet in parlay cards.
I mean, that's it. I just maybe a dog here or there, but that's about it, man, for me. So,
wow.
But I like this. I like to see the numbers, because it does help us and how we're, giving stats for games, and, who we like and who we don't. And this dude over here will put the numbers up.
It's funny how before sports gambling was United States acceptable back in the day when you couldn't bet here illegally, I did a lot of consulting work for DraftKings back in the day, before they were just a fart and a win, where they were not even I've done stuff for scouts.com. I've done starts for a lot of high school teams and stuff like that for stats wise. So it's funny how our industry of sports gambling and the research we do, people are calling me. I've done stuff for political for each state. I've done some stuff for Louisiana for political statistical work. So it's funny how they starting to realize all this stuff. You can say you like something, but when money talks, that's when stuff starts getting real. That's why I don't agree to political polls, because you're just saying so. What's the money coming in on stuff? That's when stuff gets real, when you put on actual money.
Mm-hmm. God, man.
So basically, what you're saying is money is the true binary code.
Yes, money is the first number that I look at.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. Well, Raphael, thank you. Yes, again, thank you for coming on with us, giving us a little things to bet on, giving us some upcoming things to listen to. As you said, shows tomorrow, Wednesday nights?
Yes.
Okay. Wednesday nights at what time?
I think 10:30. Your guys' time, I think, is
okay.
late. I'll throw out another free winner for you guys.
Oh, there you go.
The Pelicans are going to beat the Utah Jazz their first game on Thursday, the first Thursday night game on TNT when they come back. You're trying to tell me that the NBA is not going to do anything and everything to get Zion into the playoffs, and Utah's They still having locker room problems with Gobert giving COVID to half of the team.
Everybody. He gave it to the whole country.
The Pelicans will win, and now you're trying to tell me I'm only laying -1 with Zion? Oh, just give me the Pelicans to win by double digits the first game Thursday when the NBA comes back.
I'm taking that bet. I promise you. I'm going to post that bet. I'm going to take a picture of my bet. I'm going to tag you in it and said, here it is. I told you.
Unless Gobert gives Zion COVID, then that bet's voided.
So maybe I should wait to bet.
I would wait till that day because don't bet it now.
All right, man.
Well, absolutely great. Well, we're going to be ramping up some basketball talk here, so who knows? We might be tapping into you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We want the, like we was talking, we want the how many threes is certain person going to hit, or how many. What will the first dunk come from, Zion or who, LeBron or whatever?
I have all that. I'm going to start working on that right now. I have how many? Pretty much every star on each team, what they're going to average during the playoffs, points, rebounds, assists. I just put up some prop bets for Simmons today. Will he make a playoff 3, Ben Simmons? Yes or no?
So what you need is a prop bet for Will and Jada.
You know what? I have celebrity divorce odds up there, and I put the no as heavy favorite because there's no way these two are going to get divorced, right? Especially not now. I mean, after going on her red table and putting all their laundry out, and I have proof that the Will has not been faithful in that side of the table either. So the sides are both sides.
They have an open marriage? Did they have an open marriage? So
they had
about it.
They had an open marriage. They didn't have an open marriage before that. It was open after that whole incident happened.
So it was open after Margaret Robbie.
Yeah, I have inside information from the celebrity stars that I go to for all my juicy stuff before I put up celebrity odds.
Oh, that's amazing. And I'm interested in these CMA awards.
Every award show I have odds up. CMAs, BET, Rest in Peace, Soul Train. I miss the Soul Train Awards. MTV, I used to do a whole bunch of them. Now they don't play. I don't know why they have an MTV Music Awards. They don't play music. So I don't know.
Now what they should is just have an awards for their reality shows.
I only watch Ridiculousness. That's the only thing I watch on MTV.
I hate that girl's laugh. I love her, but I hate her girl's laugh. Well, Raphael, tell everybody where they can find all your juiciness and all your wonderful odds making.
Yeah, you can follow me over at DocSports.com. I'm one of the writers and odds makers over there. You can follow me over at mybookie.ag. All the prop bets that you see on the left-hand side of the betting lines usually come from my head. You can follow me on Twitter at VSI.Sports. You can follow me on Instagram at Raphael Esparza. And if you want a betting prop posted, if you think I missed something, shoot me a tweet. Hey, how come you don't have Will LeBron James ride around in a Pope mobile because he's trying not to get COVID? Yes or no? I'll put up prop bets like that.
No, we want to know when LeBron's going to let the hairline go.
Probably after the bomb of Space Jam 2. I think he just shaves it bald right there because that's going to be. I'm going to put up a total Rotten Tomato score for Space Jam 2. It's probably I'm going to probably put up 62 or 63%.
Ooh.
Oh. My last one that I'm interested in is what I'm sure is out there. What are the odds of Tyson getting back in the ring numbers wise?
We had a yes, and he still wants to do that. I heard he had a handshake agreement with Tito Ortiz to box with him, and then it fell through. He wants to do it because I think Tyson realized that he does not want to go sailing knowing that people are going to think about the negative Tyson. He wants to do something really big for charity, so people will try to forget all the craziness that he's done. He will box in 2020, 2021. I know his trainer out there in Vegas that's working him out right now, and he says he's in amazing shape, and he says they're looking for a boxer. Like I said, they had Tito Ortiz, and something happened. I think with MGM going backwards on COVID, they couldn't get the arena because they want fans in there because they can get more money if they bring fans in. So he will fight in 2021. It's not going to be Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield has no stamina. So if you're looking for that fight, it's not going to happen. It will not be Evander Holyfield.
Hey, I want to see Tyson hit one of these young fellas, boy. But they thought they got hit hard. No,
It's gonna probably be a 5-round fight because they don't want an even number, so it's a draw. They want a win fight, so it's probably gonna be a 5-rounder. No headgear though. Tyson does not want headgear. That was another thing. I think I heard Tito Ortiz wanted headgear, and Tyson's like, no.
Listen. Wow. Do you want to get hit in the head by Tyson?
For $1 million, I would.
But see, I'd like to spend that $1 million. Nothing that.
That's normal for you.
My wife would. She wouldn't care if I'm a vegetable. She's spending that money.
So true. So true.
Well, it's been fun, my guy, man. This is amazing.
Anytime you guys need me to jump on and talk numbers, I'm always available. It's anytime. Like I said, you're gonna send me a text message of WTF when I send you something. These odds that I put stuff up. I can guarantee.
I can't wait to see the rest of it. I do the first two, and it's like, hey, but BW Sports One World may be seeing more and more of this guy right here. So. Check out BWSports1.com for all the upcoming events and news from us. Raphael, again, thank you for coming on with us, and we will definitely be in touch, sir.
Thanks for having me on the Black, White, and Brown Sports Show.
Tonight it is.
Take it easy, guys.
We totally offend everybody.
Yeah. We're across the board equal. That's always a good time, man. Well, yeah, that guy right there, he's the one. This guy right here, he's the ass. I am. And together, we are Black and White Sports, powered by First Financial Bank. John Buzzard over at First Financial Bank, 3535 East 96th Street in Indianapolis. Call him 317-417-8582. Or email him, john.buzzard@bankitfirst.com. And as always, our Rockstar Realtor himself, Mr. Shawn Nugent. Give him a call, 317-503-8322. Or email that guy, shawn.nugent@talktotucker.com. As always, Damon, what do?
We keep indies sporty.
Pew pew! It's Jessie J, the Pew Pew Girl. Peace!